Heyo you smexy so-and-so, welcome to the second segment of the Top 400 Toku Songs Countdown. For those new here, you should probably go see the first section I did a little while ago to find out how this list works, because I ain't explaining all that shit again. I'm just here to say briefly before we dive into the metaphorical pool of Toku musical goodness, that from now on I actually like the music I'm talking about. About time, wouldn't you say? My reasons for liking each one are obviously different, but as a general rule for these numbered placements, each song I organised from here on out in order of how much I'd want to go out of my way to listen to them. So if Song A is higher ranked than Song B, it's because I'd rather listen to Song A more, because fuck Song B. His mother never loved him, and he deserves all the torment his torturous existence has brought him. In other news, if a particular song you like isn't on the list from here on out, it's for one of three reasons. 1. I simply haven't heard it before, so cannot form an opinion. 2. It's so painfully average that I seriously couldn't give an explanation as to why it's on the list at all. Or 3. It's abysmally awful to the point where I never want to hear it ever again, i.e. License a Go-Go from Ninja. What, I'm not playing it? I would throw myself down a 15-mile hole if I subjected you to it. Listen at your own risk is all I'm going to say. Okie dokie, now that we've got that part out of the way, let's get back onto the list and maybe it won't be as long as the last part, who knows, so yeah, go 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 go. Christ, we're not even 5 minutes in and we're already hitting some potential controversy. Let's go! So yeah, if you're wondering where any Godzilla songs were in part 1, well, here's your answer. I like them, including this one to a lot of people's potential surprise. However, I really don't like it enough to have it any higher. I find it to be the worst thing ever that I like in a so bad it's absolutely hilarious way. I will usually listen to it just to laugh at it and its film of origin. That being said, it certainly is a unique piece of music. Whether that's in a good way or not is debatable, but still. Some people may be thinking that this version I'm playing right now sounds pretty different from the one you'd know. Then you're a rather observant person, aren't you? Have another baguette on me. And in answer to that query, this is the full-length record release of the song that is superior to the original aside from not having that rocking opening bit played in the movie's title card. But still compensates for it by being clearer and fuller musically and being better sung, which is a bit shit since the vocals of the original I liked more for their hilariousness. Anywho, overall, strong start to this section of the list, wouldn't you say? I can easily see why this song is so popular, and while this evidently isn't my favourite Sentai OP, I can still see why it's very beloved. Its instrumentation is great and it's well sung, while also being very distinct and recognisable. It's also so 80s, I love it. Plus the way it ends, it's really unique. But still, as I said at the start, there's a lot more songs that I'd rather listen to over this one. 378 to be more specific. Honestly, I think I like it better as a 1 minute OP rather than the full version. Couldn't tell you why, but yeah. Oh, and before we head on to the next entry, huge props to Miyauchi for getting up on stage to sing this song live earlier this year given what happened to him. Much respect. And also the Rider Sentai live music show thing every January is the single best idea Toys ever had, and I really want Eva Tsuburaya to do the same thing as long as Voyager doesn't headline it. Or if Toei could include their other lesser known Toku songs in it, or hell even just Metal Heroes music, please, thank you, okay next. That intro is great. As a whole song, it's really interesting to listen to. The instruments used provide a fitting and unique sound that, well, sounds a lot different from any other Toku show. Masato's vocals are on point with this one as well. I'm always impressed at the length of time he holds at the end of each chorus. While I can't say I found myself listening to this song very often, as you can probably tell by its placement here and what you heard at the intro, I can't deny its coolness. Oh yeah, I probably should have said, since I guarantee some people are going to be looking at this and go, what the cool fuck is that? Basically, right? You take Planet of the Apes, the original one, not those, give it to Tsuburaya and let them go ham. Some of it also got compiled and dubbed into a movie that was featured on MST3K back when it was in its prime, and I'd recommend watching that episode. But now I'm going to shut up about this simian Segu and move on to the next entry, because that's what yous are here for, right? La musique, not l'histoire, you know? Double Masato Shimon whammy here for you folks. A nice little piece here with some nice drums and the kids not overtaking the song, which is how I like them. There's a somewhat hopeful vibe I get from this song, but I honestly couldn't tell you why. Give Clinton Baptiste a call, they'll sort you out with that one. And frankly, well, that's it. But no real profound reasons for liking it a bit more, I just kinda do really. Also, if you're expecting Triple Fighter's opening theme at some point in this list, no comment. I've literally just realised now that I've placed 2 songs from shows with 3 heroes that act as a group and can merge into one hero back to back. Funny how that works, huh? Anywho, Mitsurugi's OP is too rather unique, as I don't think I can hear a single brass instrument in this orchestra, only string and woodwind ones, which is class. Vocals aren't too shabby either, with a neat balance of the main singer and the children's choir. Which, I mean, I would have preferred no children's chorus, but this is fine, I guess. I get a weirdly mystical air to this song too, but that just might be because the title has the word storm in it, I don't know. In summary, 'tis a good one, and so's Mitsurugi as a show really. You've probably noticed the show's kaiju fights are done using stop motion, which is a really neat idea. Just not that well executed, or indeed may not have been a good idea at all, since it cost too much and the show was cancelled really early, which pisses me off, because I wanted to see more of it and now I can't, and now look what you've done, you've made me go off topic, oh god help me. Ain't this a strange one? I can honestly tell you now that the reason this one's higher than the ones that have come before is purely because of that intro. It's so 70s psychedelia, I love it. Afterwards, yeah, it basically falls apart, especially at the cock block of the chorus. If you've listened to this song, you'll know what I mean. The vocals are, well, fitting, but if you took them and put them in any other song, then they wouldn't sound so great. Must have been really fun recording this one though. Before we move on, I just want to mention that while writing this section, I thought this song sounded familiar to a band I've listened to, but I couldn't exactly remember the name of them. But I found out what they were before just recording this audio, and it turns out that it was Aphrodite's Child, and yeah, they sound nothing like this song, so that was just my brain doing a backflip into an oblivion of dipshittedness with that wholly unapt comparison. But you know, thought that'd be like funny or something to tell you. Oh god, what was I doing again?
Join together with SAG members.
Toho's TV series is such an oddity, much like this song. It's rather slow for a Toku show of this era, with the rock style being about as 90s as this show's use of green screen. It's mainly comparable to Biclaw's godforsaken OP, which, if you saw the first video, you know. However, whilst that thing had bad vocals and most boring instrumental in the world, this one I can say I musically stand a bit more. Just a little bit though, not that much. Also, go watch Cybercop. It's a decent show, unlike some other show that I may or may not have mentioned recently. A double dose of obscure Toho TV show piece somewhat goodness for you chaps, with a song that seems to match the trend of this segment so far, with songs being good in the intros and instrumentals but the vocals holding them back. And if you're a good listener, then you'll remember how much I don't like children's choruses in Toku show themes. So how do you think I feel when they're the only fucking singers this time? Not happy is the answer. For the non-vocal elements, there's a really nice combination of 70s Toku OP music tropes, like the orchestral strings and horns mixed with the guitar that someone went a bit crazy on the effects pedal with. As such, the instruments and the vocals basically cancel each other out, leading to a very middle ground track. Not that that's a bad thing. What is a bad thing is that some of the kids singing are like really off key, which is annoying and reinforces my point about not liking them in these songs, so yeah, suck on that you little shits.
こちらモールだ。直ちに現場に直行せよ。こちら鉄仮面。テンフォー了解。点々よろしく。よーし行くぞ。はい。はい。
I'm honestly curious as to how many people actually knew what any of these shows up until now were before watching this video, because I'm making some pretty deep cuts here. So, 10-4-10-10, aka Mighty Jack Season 3, you know it's true. We have on our hands here another middle ground song that again starts off cool enough, but loses it a bit when the whole repeating of the 10-4-10-10 pre-chorus comes in, with the men's choir not exactly helping its case. After that the chorus picks up again a bit, but it doesn't really hit the highness of the start. Instruments are again pretty decent, but not much to comment on though. And that's basically it like. So on to the next obscure show no one's heard of, woohoo!
Tempo!
宇宙ステーションシルバースターがある。シルバースターにはキャプテンウルトラがいる。キャプテンウルトラも
So here's a fun fact. Captain Ultra is one of my favourite Showa Toku series. The second opening theme is not the reason for that. If anything, it makes me wish I had the first opening back. You can take that statement as a spoiler if you want, I don't know. It combines two of my aforementioned dislikes for Toku songs, the military march mixed with the men's chorus. Fun! Although granted, it is a better one compared to what we've had so far, but there isn't a whole lot more to comment on, except for the fact that I also have a grudge against this song because not only did it replace the first theme, but it also came with the departure of the bestest boy in the land, Joe. Sorry, it just gets to me, you know. You will be missed, Joe. God, I can't do the rest of the video like this. One of the guests take over for a bit. I need a moment.
Hello there, this is that ancient fossilized relic of a Toku channel known as Liquid Pestar, and I have been resurrected for a short time by the internet's busiest music nerd, Cydrixar to give my top 5 Tokusatsu songs on this wide and adventurous list. And so without further ado, let's count down these multicolored Japanese bops. Number 5 is a song that I have a very strong connection to despite not really being the most well produced Ultraman song. That is Miracle of Ultra from Ultraman Mebius. This song just perfectly captures my nostalgic childhood memories of watching Ultraman and the beautiful essence of this franchise's legacy. From the second those harmonious opening violin notes play to the passionate vocals by DMM about humanity being inspired by these giant heroes, this song always gives me a heavy emotional punch and reminds me of the never losing hope message of Ultraman's legacy, and I just love it so much, but mostly for nostalgic reasons. It's definitely the song that connects me to my childhood the most, but structure wise, it's okay. At number 4 we have We Think Therefore We Are from Kamen Rider Ghost. So Kishidan here proved themselves to be a capable Japanese rock band by giving an opening that's heavy hitting with a good flow, but still doesn't lose that feeling of hope and striving for goodness that's so essential in the Rider franchise, and for a show that's considered widely to be the worst in the Rider franchise, and also matches the statement that Ghost is good in all its aesthetic and music except for the actual show itself. The vocals in this song are the absolute highlight as they gloriously extend into a light-hearted, energetic frenzy with the supporting heavy drums and guitar kicking in right up to the altogether shouting of We Think Therefore We Are in the chorus, which sounds like a triumphant battle cry. This song is an energetic banger, enough said. Number 3 is Over Quartzer from Kamen Rider Zeo. This techno raver is a great opening, and its instrumentals, which hold amazingly on their own, are just as good as the vocal performance from Shuta Sueyoshi. All rejoice for what I believe is the best Kamen Rider opening of all time. Number 2 is likely the most beautiful piece of music to ever come from this genre, and also happens to be from my all-time favourite Tokusatsu show, Shonen Yo from Kamen Rider Hibiki. While ending themes may tend to be more low-key unwinding than the energetic first gear openings in Tokusatsu, Hibiki takes an entirely different artistic approach and delivers a full pulse-pounding vocal performance from Akira Fuse on keeping your beat throughout life with fantastic orchestral instrumentals. If there's any song that perfectly captures the need to strive for hope in life, you bet your drumsticks it's this masterpiece. Hibiki's outstanding music is one of the main reasons as to why it's such a valued gem in the franchise. But as for my number 1 all-time favourite, this one rather unexpectedly comes from the Super Sentai franchise. Sentai music is known for being relentlessly upbeat and punchy, but my particular favourites from the franchise are the ones which adopt more collected vocal performances and distinct instrumentals, with some cheesy but uplifting openings like Die Ranger and Magi Ranger being particular favourites of mine. But my absolute favourite Sentai and Tokusatsu song of all time would have to go to Ninja Sentai Kaku Ranger. I don't know exactly what it is, whether it be the unique instrumentals, more laid back but catchy vocals, or humorous lyrics that makes this song so utterly replayable to me, but this song will still likely never cease to entertain me or stop having me hum it at a concerning rate. This was, that guy who likes petroleum starfish a lot, now back on with the other British beasts list.
Right, okay, I think I've recovered mentally from the travesty of Joe being removed from Captain Ultra halfway through, so let's just try and get on with the rest of this segment.
お前らなんだ悪魔族と戦う正義の戦士ザビタン同じくイビル同じくガブラー
You've heard me say it before, now hear me say it again. Here we have a theme that starts out pretty good, before losing me at the pre-chorus and then interesting me again at the main chorus, but not as much as it was at the start. If you were looking for a great example of a completely decent Showa Toku theme, then you're not going to get much better than this, honestly. The brass is the most interesting part of this song for me personally, but Ichiro Mizuki is always a win. Unless your name is Godman, you don't deserve happiness. In summary, very competent. Moving on. Isn't it weird how similar these past two songs' names have been to each other? Like, Victory Akumaiza 3 fights Kamen Rider V3. Funny how that works out, because it wasn't intentional, I swear. Anyway, hey, finally another Toku thing that a general audience member may actually recognise. Been a while, huh? Say hello to the worst Showa Rider theme, everybody. Not to say that it's awful or anything, because it would have been in the first video if that were the case. But alas, that still doesn't mean this song compared to the rest of the Showa Rider library is about as bland as Shiro himself. I like its faster pace compared to some other themes of the time. The vocals are also quite nice, if a bit low quality sounding even for back then. The strings though are great. Now let's see if the next entry is anything someone will somewhat recognise, or if it's just me going off on another deep plunge into more obscure unheard things. Guess it was the latter of those two. First off, if someone out there's going to start complaining that, well, this isn't a Tokusatsu, then A, you need to look up what the definition of Tokusatsu is, and B, even if it isn't, I'm still including it so you can fuck off. The reason I like this song is because of how both funky and funny it is. It has a real nice rhythm and I like the group vocals used, but still, it's pretty damn funny that this song even exists at all, especially for some schlocky Italian B-movie from the 70s. Then again, that was somewhat common, I guess. Now if you want a good laugh, I highly recommend watching this song's film of origin. It's very MST3K worthy, and great fun riffing on, which I did one time with some friends and it was a figurative blast. So, do that. Go on, I dare you. Well, here's a track with the exact opposite problem to the issue that has frequented the entries in this section, with this one losing me at the intro, but the rest of it being pretty good. It was at the point for me where I didn't even give this song a chance for the longest time, because that intro just left such a bad taste in my mouth. I have since matured into a neutral-headed individual and quite liked the song on repeated listens. While the singer isn't the strongest in the world, we do have great instrumentation. But that doesn't mean I listen to this piece very often, cause, come on, it's Caesar X. The one Caesar series out of the three I hear literally no one talk about, like, ever. Hell, I haven't even watched it myself, so I can't say much about it either. Oh well, next. Ain't it strange that within the same section we've had Akumaiza 3 and now its sequel series Bibune? What another happy little coincidence. And like Akumaiza, this song is very similar but quite different, and in my personal opinion, superior. If you know, you couldn't tell given its placement. This piece I find takes what Akumaiza set up and expands on it, giving it more varied instruments, and replacing Mizuki with Sasaki was a good choice for this one. At 3 minutes 40, this song clocks in as one of the longest Showa Toku songs released, which sure is something. Although, is it just me, or does the sing at the start not 100% sync up with the music, which in itself is very Jacka-like? Either way, still pretty damn fine. So for this next entry, I wanna just... Oh, what are you doing here? Let me just get rid of you real quick. Okay. So child.
Hanuman! Hanuman da! Hanuman!
You know, I had a sneaking suspicion that was gonna happen. Yes, I do indeed kinda like something Child indirectly produced. Yeah, call me the fake fan antichrist all you like. Just be thankful I didn't put the actual original theme song for this movie, okay? Because that song isn't worth finding, trust me. This piece is eerily similar to the songs from the Ultraman anime. You know, the one called The Ultraman. This one. But I don't like this one as much as those ones from the anime, as this one has a slower pace that I don't really think works. I like how the children's chorus is downplayed this time, and it does sound very heroic and triumphant, which fits the overall Ultraman image. Although I don't think it suits a film where this happens, but that's neither here nor there. Welp, I'd say it's time we moved on from Chaya before my ass gets beaten once again. Wasn't too long ago we saw Iron King's OP, in terms of placement on the list I mean, and now we have its ED. There's a real nice sense of freedom and wonder in this track, which fits Gentaro and Goro's journey over the season. Unlike a lot of EDs that are used as a pace breaker of sorts from the action, with them often having slower paces and being more subdued, here we have the complete opposite, which is a nice change to the formula, plus it gives Masato Shimon a chance to shine on his own, always a plus. I just don't hold this ED in as high regard as other ones cause, well, I don't like Iron King, but in a vacuum, this is a song I rather enjoy.
La, da, da.
Look, I know it's a children's chorus song mainly, so why is it even as high as 363rd? Really? I'm not sure. It must be down to the instrumental cause that shit is unique. This again was the song that turned me off at the start of it, but I've since come to appreciate it more over time, and now I actually like the opening of this opening. Yeah, I think the men's chorus thing comes in at just the right point as well, leading to a good song. Short section, but who cares, we're almost done anyway. pretty controversial choice right here. I genuinely don't have a problem with the instrumental or vocals of this track, because they're both stellar. I just find this song hella overrated. It's too repetitive for my liking, which isn't always bad, but the verses don't interest me that much and the lyrics are a bit hit or miss at best. I can see why people like this one a lot, because like I say, the vocals and instrumental are good, great even, but it still doesn't hook me that much. Oh well. A lot of my opinions don't match the common consensus anyway, so this is just another one on that list. Jesus, this segment's just full of weird coincidences. Looks like we're ending where we began, Showa Godzilla. Just like with the Monster March, this is a full-length record re-recording of the song, so it sounds pretty different compared to the original, which wouldn't have been on this entire list had it been the only version that existed. And I gotta say, I was surprised how good this particular cover is. It gets rid of the slow as fuck intro section and is an actual full song. Huzzah! The instruments are varied, the lead singer is superior, and the men's chorus is used sparingly, which is a nice decision. Does it do as good a job of representing this artsy, batshit insane film? Well, not this version, no, but as a song on its own, it certainly delivers, although I do still have a soft spot for the original English cover Save the Earth. So peeps, that's part 2 of this series finished. When we return, songs that are slightly better than these 20. Until then. Yo, welcome to the outro part 2. So, thank you for checking out the second part. I know this is like a bit of a time in the making, but you know, happens. This is like, you know, long videos. Also, I apologise if you thought this was like very fixed because of all like the weird coincidences. I swear that I didn't plan on them being like this. It's just genuinely the order in which I put them because of how much I listen to them and how much I like them. Just wanted to clear it up at the end. If you don't agree with me, you're wrong. In my opinion anyway. And of course opinions are subjective, so you know. You can have yours, I don't care. Anything else really? Not really. This was just like fun to make. I got it ahead of schedule, which was nice. But other than that, I don't really have that much to say. So I'm just going to leave it off here. Stay tuned for part 3, and I'll see you around. Have a nice baguette.